Bill Gates once said, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year. Let me say that again. Most of us watching this recording, our friends and our families, we're not going to accomplish our New Year's resolutions that we set out for this year. But then he adds, they underestimate what they can do in 10 years. Now think about the truth in that. When you look back 10 years to 2013, could you have imagined what we would have accomplished over the past 10 years? What Bill Gates is suggesting is, as humans, we need to think bigger with our long-term goals. We can accomplish far more than what we believe, and often necessity is what drives these big innovations, these big accomplishments. And you know, COVID is the obvious example of this. The need was so great, and our response to COVID was immediate and immense, with changes around the world in how we live, how we work, and how we interact. In our work at Authenticx, we see a profound need for the healthcare industry to leap forward, to think bigger about what we can accomplish.
In all of our AI and human listening in 2022, we learned a lot. In fact, we've started to dig at these conversations across the board to see what we could understand from what we heard in 2022 that might guide us toward bigger accomplishments that we can aim for in the next few years and beyond. So what we'd like to do today is to walk you through three things that we have discovered. First, we'd like to talk a little bit about the needs that we hear within those conversations, needs primarily driven by patients and caregivers. And then we'd like to share with you what we've heard about how it's going for those patients and caregivers trying to meet those needs. And then finally, we'd like to share with you what we have concluded about what the action steps might be that we can be taking to move toward bigger accomplishments in the future. We heard people talking about and asking questions about their healthcare itself. So these were inquiries about their symptoms, inquiries about getting appointments, inquiries about their medications or side effects, getting refills for their medications. We also heard a lot of inquiries about what we would call the business of their healthcare, which is really about financing their healthcare. These are conversations around paying for expensive medications, questions around getting financial assistance, questions around billing, and questions around insurance. So it's one thing to see the numbers for how many people and what percentage of conversations are around this effort to navigate the financial coverage of healthcare. It's a whole other thing to hear it.
So I'm getting told different stories from different places, and my mom's the one who's suffering. She can't breathe, she can't get off the couch, all because we're getting the runaround from everybody. This is crazy.
Eddies are having a huge impact on healthcare. They're costing our customers and ourselves time. In fact, on average, nearly 3/4 of eddies were found to result in additional time for our customers and for the healthcare entity. But what's worse than the additional time is they are also impacting care, with over 40% on average delaying or preventing care for patients. And eddies are impacting our cost of healthcare. We know that we can accomplish far more than what we believe, and we know that necessity is the driver of big accomplishments. And we know that the necessity of getting care is encumbered by the business of healthcare. We have a business of healthcare problem, and this problem isn't going to go away on its own. It's not going to go away unless we listen and use the customer voice to hear the necessity that must drive our innovation.